Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. We are here on this Saturday night as we are covering the Serie A over in Italy, where current champions Napoli welcome Lazio, who finished runners-up last season, to the home side. For Napoli, there has been a change in the dugout as previous gaffer Luciano Spalletti left after the title win and left on a sabbatical, which the club agreed to and they allowed to grant him the break. For this season, they then start now with new manager Rudy Garcia as the manager. The Frenchman has previously managed in Italy before with Roma, where in 2 full seasons at the club he led them to back-to-back second place finishes. And for Lazio, this is the beginning of their 3rd season under former Chelsea boss Maurizio Sarri. The Serie A title winning manager has guided Lazio to Champions League football this season after the club have not featured in that competition for the last 2 seasons. The 2 meetings between these 2 last season led to both sides winning away from home. The first class saw Napoli win 2-1 at the Stadio Olimpico on this date last year, and the return game gave Lazio the 3 points after a 67th minute winner from Vecino. So, for the first ever Serie A commentary on the channel, will Napoli make it 3 wins from 3, or will Lazio get their first points on the board after starting the season with back-to-back defeats? It's been a bad start for Lazio in this season under Maurizio Sarri, yet to experience any points so far. Their first game was a 2-1 away defeat to Lecce, and then they followed that up in game 2 at home to Genoa, a game you'd expect them to win, especially being the home side, but they went and lost 1-0. Oh my god, I don't know what to do with this. Went and lost 1-0 to Genoa at home, having 16 shots, but out of those 16 shots, only 2 were on target. So needs to have a big improvement today. Maurizio Sarri, as he did lead them to second place last season, their best finish since winning the league back in 2000 under Sven-Göran Eriksson. So very much hitting the heights of the history of the club. Lazio obviously not finishing that high for so long, because before last season they'd been pretty disappointing within Serie A campaigns. 2021-2022 season saw them finish 5th. Before that was 6th, then 4th, then 8th, 5th, 8th, 3rd and 9th. It's kind of going through the finishes of this club in the last 10 or so years, and it's not been great. So as I've said, much improvements have been needed from Maurizio Sarri, and since he joined in June of 2021, he's led them to 5th and then 2nd. Can they go one better? Maybe not, because their start has been so very poor. Again, 2 losses in their first 2, home and away, and then they've got to go and travel now to the current champions, the reigning champions Napoli, who have started with 2 wins in their first 2. Started with a 3-1 away win at Frosinone, and then in their last game last week they welcomed Sassuolo to the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, and they won 2-0 in that game against Sassuolo. Osimhen scored from the spot in the 16th minute, and then Di Lorenzo, the right back, added with 25 minutes to go. But I'm going to go through the 2 lineups in a second, as we are just about 5 minutes away from kickoff. But I'll go through both teams in a bit more detail, as you can see them on screen. In goal for Napoli's Alex Meret, the Italian international, has now been at the club since July of 2019 on a permanent, spent 2018-2019 on loan. Back 4 of Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Amir Ramani, and number 5 Juan Jesus, and number 17 and left back Matthias Oliveira. Holding midfielder is going to be Stanislav Lobotka, the Polish international, joined in January of 2020 from Celta Vigo. And then the 2 central midfielders ahead of him is going to be Frank Anguissa and Piotr Zielinski. And then the front 3 is going to be Matteo Politano, who scored in Napoli's opening game of the season and also assisted in game number 2. And he'll flank with Kvaratskhelia, who's back today, was injured for the first game, came off the bench in the second game and provided an assist. He's back starting once again, his first start of the season. And number 9 up front, leading the line for Napoli, is the Nigerian. It is Victor Osimhen, who's already started this season with 3 goals. Got a brace in game 1 and scored once against Sassuolo at home in the second game. He's going to be looking to try and better his season last year. He scored 26 goals in 32 Serie A appearances last season. And he's only ever grown on his goal tallies. In his first season in Serie A, Victor Osimhen scored 10. In his second campaign, he scored 14. In his third one, last season, he scored 26. So he'll be looking to add even more goals to his tally this season. And then on the bench for Napoli, the benches are huge in Italy. They have so many substitutes named. It is ridiculous. I think they can have a maximum of 14. So we're going to go for 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and that is Ida Ziak and Contini. And then right back, Alessandro Zanoli is on the bench with Leo Ostigard, Nathan Hela and Pellegrini as the defensive options. As midfielders, we've got Nicolo Ravella, Tom Basic, Matthias Vecino, Matteo Guendouzi, signed us a couple days ago from Marseille on loan with a €15 million option to €50 million option to buy. Pedro returns on the bench after suffering an ankle injury, which he returns from, only missing the 1 game. Gustav Isaacson is also on the bench, signed this summer from Midtjylland for €13 million. He's played 3 games already so far for Midtjylland this season before coming to Lazio, where he's already played 2 games off the bench. And also on the bench is Tati Castellanos. He is joined this season again, also from New York City FC for €15 million. A 24-year-old spent last season on loan at Girona in La Liga, where he scored 13 goals in the Spanish league, including 4 he scored in 1 game against Real Madrid in April in a 4-2 win for Girona. He is also on the bench. As for Lazio, we've got Ivan Providel in goal, the Italian, with a back 4 of Elseid Haizaj, Nicolo Casale, Alessio Romagnoli, and Adam Majurzik at left back. 3 midfielders of Danilo Cataldi, Daichi Kamada and Luis Alberto. With front 3 of former Hammers man Felipe Anderson. On the left is going to be Matteo Zaccani, and up front leading the line, their main man Ciro Immobile, who is Lazio's all-time leading goal scorer. He is making his 300th appearance for the club tonight. He is looking to score nearly his 200th goal. He's currently on 197. And the bench is going to be Luigi Seppi, Christos Mandas, Manuel Lazzari, Patrick Halat, Pellegrini, Roviella, Basic, Vecino, Guendouzi, Pedro, Isaacson and Castellanos. I just realised I accidentally read the Lazio bench. I do apologise. So the Lazio, the Napoli bench is also including Mario Rui, Elmas, Lindstrom, Russo, Gaetano, Raspadori, Zerbin and Simeone. That's the Napoli bench. You can see it down below as well, so apologies for getting that mixed up. And then the Lazio bench is Sepe, Mandas, Lazzari, Patrick, Hela, Pellegrini, Rovella, Basic, Vecino, Guendouzi, Pedro, Isaacson and Castellanos. So that's the Lazio bench and the Napoli bench. You can see them at the bottom of your screen anyway, as we are closing on kick-off, just about a minute or so away from the start of this one. From last season, this is first against second, but currently after 2 games, it's second against 19th, showing Lazio's poor start to the season. As we are edging closer to kick off here at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Naples, we're going to have referee Andrea Colombo, who's going to be the man in the middle, age 32. He last officiated a Napoli game in March of this year, and he last officiated a Lazio game in February of this year. But it's the 2 best teams in Italy from last year. The tables have turned slightly, with Lazio off to a slow start to start the campaign. Napoli beginning where they left off last year with 2 wins out of 2. They'll look to make it 3 out of 3 and compile misery. to Lazio's start. Napoli in an all-black kit, one of their many kits that they like to provide a season. Lazio all in white. It'll be Lazio kicking off, kicking left to right. Napoli right to left. As the referee blows the whistle, we start with Lazio with Luis Alberto sending it over the top of the Napoli defence. Easily caught by goalkeeper Alex Meret. And it'll be Napoli to have possession of the ball. Rolled out to right centre-back, Romani. Just on the edge of his 18-yard box. Goes across to his left to Juan Jesus. Finds left-back midway side his own half. Back we go already to Juan Jesus. Heavy touch and has to clear hurriedly to halfway where it can be brought down for Lazio. And it can be kept by Lazio where towards Cataldi who gives it away after a poor touch. And Napoli trying to set away Osimhen midway inside the Lazio half, but it's cut out by Lazio's number 77, Marusic at left back. We'll start the timer. As it is Napoli in the Lazio final third. It's Anguissa in a more of a right back area and having to play it back to number 15, Casale. Sorry, number 13, Romani at the back for Napoli, the Kosovo international, captain of his nation, Amir Romani, the 29-year-old Napoli centre-back, making his 100th appearance for the club in Naples. Here's Juan Jesus on halfway, forward to Oliveira. Ball inside, looking for number 20, Zielinski, just gone above and away from the Polish international, cleared up by Lazio towards halfway, where Kamada loses out to Oliveira, who's then shoved and pushed to the ground, but the referee doesn't see a foul in it, and it's Lazio to regain possession in their own half, all the way back to their goalkeeper, Providel, who was the leading clean sheet maker in the league last season with 22 for Lazio. Won league's best goalkeeper last season. The Italian 6'4" goalkeeper. As it's Napoli in possession. Deep inside their own half. Juan Jesus goes back to his own goalkeeper in his 18-yard box. Alex Meret goes to his right centre-back, Amir Romani. Again, across to his left, midway inside their own half here. Napoli just settling on possession in their all-black kit. It's Oliveira down the left channel, looking for Kvaratskhelia, and he picks it up on the left-hand side, the number 77. Can he run into the box? He can from the left-hand side, cutting onto his right foot, working a shot, and it's blocked on the 6-yard line, away for a corner. That was dangerous from the Georgia international. Found down the left channel by Oliveira, as he cut it onto his right foot from the left-hand side. He put a shot towards the near post, and it was blocked away there by Marusic, the Lazio left-back, and it'd be Kvaratskhelia to put a cross in. It's an in-swinger. It's actually going to be Zielinski. In-swinger, right foot, helped on towards the far post. It's a header won in the 6-yard box to the edge of the box where Napoli try strike. Cleared by Lazio and the counters on and halfway. It's Luis Alberto being chased down by Lobotka. Held up by the Polish international. It's won back by Di Lorenzo, who helps out his teammate. And Napoli back in possession. Luis Alberto, the Spaniard for Lazio, couldn't quite keep possession as he tried to get into the Napoli half after defending the corner well there, Lazio. Switch out to the right for Napoli, just inside the Lazio half. It's nodded down by Politano to his right back and captain, Giovanni Di Lorenzo, who's played all minutes so far. The captain at right back scored last week against Sassuolo at home. Kvaratskhelia nearly takes it around. Well, he does take it around the Lazio left back, but then he gets the return here from Osimhen. Kvaratskhelia, edge of the box, trying to shoot. He does shoot. It's blocked, and it comes out to the left to Zielinski, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. In the box, it goes to Osimhen, open up his body for a shot, and it just trickles off the boot of Napoli's number 17, Oliveira, the left back, who got forward into the box. Positive start. He's looking really dangerous, Kvaratskhelia. Like I say, injured for the first game of the season, then returned off the bench in the second game where he provided an assist at home to Sassuolo. It's Lazio to have some possession. Providal on the edge of the 6-yard box for Lazio. Gets out to their right back here on the right-hand side. Marusic. He's actually on the right back position, not the left, as it says on screen. As he play out from the back. Cataldi, heavy touch in the box. Zielinski nearly nips it off him. He's able to move it away, and Lazio still play from the back. They need to clear. They think it up. Midway inside their own half, it can be collected by Anguissa. That's well won back by Napoli. Lazio look a little nervy at the back there, trying to play out of defence. It's on halfway with Anguissa, formerly of Fulham. In the Napoli half, gets out to the left here to Oliveira. And rushing it forward here, Napoli, taking its time. Going back to Anguissa. He works away from Immobile. Juan Jesus goes to the right centre half. Ramani. 5.5 minutes in, still 0-0. Napoli have looked very dangerous though. Definitely down the left-hand side with the return of Kvaratskhelia. Olivier on halfway at left back for Napoli. Inside again to Juan Jesus, and here is Lobotka, the holding midfielder. Signed a new contract in March of this year to penny stay here at Napoli till 2027. There's a ball out towards Di Lorenzo, halfway inside the Lazio half. Has just gone out of play. Right back couldn't quite keep it in time. It's Napoli. Currently second place as AC Milan are top with one better goal difference as it stands. But Napoli, with a win tonight, could go top, because AC Milan have also won their first 3 games. And if Napoli win theirs, and they win by 3 goals, then Napoli will also go top. So they need to win by 3 to head to the top of the Serie tonight. Into the Lazio half with Kvaratskhelia. Ball inside to Anguissa. Looking for his options. He's a little bit deeper in the Napoli midfield. He goes across to the right to Ramani. Curls a ball in the box. It's a deep one in the box, but it's going to be seen out by Marusic, the right back, and it'll be a goal kick for Lazio. Seven minutes in. Still 0-0 here in Naples. As I mentioned before, both sides won away from home against each other last season. Napoli won away on this date last year, 3rd of September 2022. There's a 2-1 win. Lazio took the lead through Zaccani. Then goals from Kim Min-jae and Kvaratskhelia gave Napoli the 3 points, as Anguissa picks it up on halfway for Napoli. Plays backwards to Juan Jesus, the left-footed centre-back for Napoli, make his 50th appearance for the club, the 32-year-old from Brazil. Into number 99, Anguissa. Serie A more well known for their higher numbers used by players, and Lobotka on the ball. He's also representing number 68, as it rushed on the edge of the 18-yard box for Napoli, with Juan Jesus again, the number 5, the Brazilian. Also signed a contract extension at the club in April this year. An extra 2 years to keep him at the club till 2025. Ball inside from Oliveira, given away. It's with Lazio on the edge of the 18-yard box with number 15, Casale, goalkeeper. Providel looks for the left wing. Can't quite find a Lazio shirt. He finds Di Lorenzo, the right back, instead for Napoli. He's shielding the ball away, aiming towards his own goal. He's been tackled unfairly there by Hajsac, the Lazio left back. Yeah, just tripped by the Albanian full back. And a free kick for Napoli on the far right hand side, halfway inside the Lazio half. It's on halfway for Napoli. Ramani, short ball, cut out here, and kept in by Alberto, and Napoli can build with number 20, Zaccani. Links up now with Alberto. Ball looking in behind in the box for Immobile, but it's cut out nicely by Di Lorenzo, the Napoli fullback, and it's sent up towards halfway to Osimhen. Header won by Casale. Going as far as Zielinski for Napoli. Plays out wide left to Oliveira. Too heavy of a pass. Out for a throw in for Lazio. It's a free throw in there, really. It's poor from Zielinski, who's usually better than that, the Polish international, who did go to the World Cup in Qatar in 2022 and scored against Saudi Arabia in Poland's opening game. I think it's Poland's second game, actually, against Saudi Arabia, as the throw-in's gone to Felipe Anderson, brought down from behind. It'll be a free kick for Lazio on the right-hand side, on this near side. About halfway inside the Napoli half. It's a chance for Lazio to get the ball in the box for the first time. 10 minutes in, it's been all Napoli. I've had one real chance through Kvaratskhelia, who had a shot towards the near post, but it was blocked by Casale for Lazio, who's going up in the box now for this free kick. Luis Alberto's over it. Zaccagni lays it off to Alberto short. Spaniard's going to put a cross in. It's a deep one, goes all the way through. Picked up by Di Lorenzo at right back for Napoli. Right on the corner flag now. Closed down by Immobile. Plays it inside to his right to Romani, who clears first time. It's given away by Lazio in midfield, but then won back for a heavy touch by Lobotka. It's back in Lazio possession in their own half. Here's Lazio enjoying a little bit of possession that they've not had much of in this opening 10 minutes. Ball down the right channel for Lazio, picked up by Felipe Anderson, lays it off to Daichi Kamada, who was signed on a free from Frankfurt this summer, the Japanese international. Yet to complete a full 90 minutes for Lazio, but he has started his first 2 league games, Kamada, as Providel rushes a clearance for Lazio in his own box, and it goes for a Napoli throw-in midway on halfway, thrown down the line by Oliveira. Finds Osimhen in the final third. He's been caught there. Late, no, says the referee. And yes, says the referee eventually. Osimhen went down under the challenge from Casale, and at first, the referee didn't blow. I think he just caught the top of the Nigerian's foot there. He's got the eye mask on tonight. Osimhen. Luis Alberto not happy with the decision for the free kick to be given there on the left-hand side. It's a dangerous area right in the final third here. Immobile just talking with referee Andrea Colombo. Free kick given away by Casale. Just a little touch of the top of the foot of Osimhen. Zielinski is over it for the right-footed option. Politano is walking away from it. So it looks like it's going to be a Zielinski right-footed in-swinger from this left-hand side. Decent little angle for a shot maybe towards the far post, if Zielinski fancies it. Politano's gone back to offer a left-footed option, but I think it'll be Zielinski with the right boot. Politano leaves it. Zielinski goes for the shot, as I mentioned, and it was straight at the goalkeeper, but had to be parried over the bar for a corner. Did just hint at the fact that Zielinski may fancy a shot from this angle, and he did go for that. It had to be punched behind by number 94, Ivan Providel, in the Lazio goal. He's got an even record against Napoli. The Lazio goalkeeper is 1-4 and lost 4 in 8 previous meetings against Napoli. Zielinski's now gone over to the right-hand side for an out-swinging cross from this corner towards the near post. Header won by Osimhen, just wide. Osimhen's claiming for a corner. He won't get it. Out-swinging ball. It reached the blonde head of Osimhen. And that did come off Mizuric last. That should be a Napoli corner. Osimhen headed it off the head of Marusic, the left back, playing right back tonight. It's a goal kick. Osimhen coming close. His first sniff at goal tonight. Providel up towards Immobile. It misses him, and it falls now for Lazio to get forward. Alberto plays it out to the left. Hajzaj, the fullback, getting forward. First cross blocked by Politano, but Lazio keep it in the final third. Here's Luis Alberto, crossing right-footed, 6-yard box, easy catch for Meret. Nowhere near a Lazio man, and it can be rolled out quickly to Kvaratskhelia. Entering the Lazio half on the Napoli left, 1-on-1 with Felipe Anderson doing his defensive duties for Lazio. And he backheels it into Zielinski. Oliveira getting forward from left back, instead goes inside to Kvaratskhelia, and play is slowed down here for Lobotka. Lazio have got all men behind the ball now. It's Napoli just on halfway. Ball forward into Oliveira, who likes to get forward from full-back. Zielinski twisting, turning away from Cataldi. Playing it to the left of Lobotka. Kvaratskhelia tries to turn Felipe Anderson, who's still doing his defensive work, and he does it well with winning the ball back. Cataldi forward here. Immobile out wide left. It's overhit, overcooked, and doesn't quite reach Zaccagni on the Lazio left. It goes for a throw-in for Napoli on their right-hand side. 15 minutes in, it's flown by the first 15 minutes. Napoli still 0-0 at home to Lazio. Juan Jesus on the edge of the 18-yard box for Napoli. They slowly build from the back. Here's Lobotka, who's sat in between the two centre-backs. Receives the ball, who likes to dribble from deep, Lobotka, and play through the lines. So he's quite a playmaker from that deeper role. Lobotka can really open up the spaces for his teammates as he finds passes in close areas. He's gone all the way back into the 18-yard box with Alex Merritt. It's now Ramani back to his goalkeeper on the edge of the 18-yard box. See how it's so different, the Italian league, to the Premier League. A lot slower in the build-up. It's not as rushed as what it is in England. It's out to the right back, Di Lorenzo. Heavy touch forward. He's going to be met by Hajzaj, and he wins the throw-in. The Albanian touches it last. The Lazio left back, and it's a throw-in for Napoli. Midway inside the Lazio half. Throw was back towards his own half to Anguissa, who's on halfway for Napoli. On the right-hand side. Furthest right is Di Lorenzo. He's got everything to his left for Napoli. Goes back to Ramani. Inside to Juan Jesus. Quite deep inside his own half here as he gets it to left back Oliveira. Touch that invites the challenge from Anderson, but he moves it away from the winger and can drive inside here. Napoli left back and play to the right to Ramani. Forward to Politano. The agile winger. Looks for a ball in behind in the box towards Kvaratskhelia. Cut out, but then Osimhen latches on and strikes it off of Kvaratskhelia, who is in an offside position, and it'll be a free kick for Lazio. Sorry for any buffering there. But a ball was played in behind there by Politano towards Kvaratskhelia, and it was cut out by Marusic. And as it was cut out, it fell to Osimhen, who latched onto it and struck. But it hit Kvaratskhelia, who was in an offside position. Felipe Anderson midway inside his own half on the right-hand side, linking up with Immobile, getting beyond one player, and then he tried to feed it towards the right there, towards Anderson, but he was cut off and blocked off, and I think Lazio will win the free kick there. Played inside their own half there, Anderson linking up with Immobile, and as Immobile received it, he tried to play it back into the run of Felipe Anderson, but he was blocked off, so he wasn't there to receive the ball. Free kick for Lazio, taken inside their own half, which was with Casale. Out to left centre-back, Romagnoli. All the way back to the goalkeeper in the 18-yard box, Providal. Looking towards the Lazio left. Finds Zaccani, headed back to Hajzaj, who is right-footed, playing at left-back. It's now Alberto. Crosses the halfway line. And Immobile touches it onto Zaccani. Tries to play a ball back, deflects off Anguissa. And it'll be a throw-in for Lazio, just inside the Napoli half. It's already taken. It's now Casale on halfway. Kamada in the centre circle is Cataldi. Goes back to Casale. And the press of Napoli's forced him all the way back to his own goalkeeper, Providel. Lazio yet to have a strike on goal, as Napoli have already racked up 7 attempts and 2 of them have been on target. Providel plays it into Calamada. Ball out to the right back here. Marusic goes for a ball inside on halfway towards Immobile. Cut out by Ramani. Up to Osimhen, who controls and lays it off into Zielinski on the left. Kvaratskhelia inside to Zielinski. Can't get away from the challenge of Calamada, and the Polish international loses it. And it'll be played out now for Lazio in their right back area. With Marusic inside on the edge of the box. Finds Luis Alberto. Back once more to Romagnoli. Gets out to the left back in the defensive third here for Napoli. Ball forward to Immobile. Can't quite take it under control, and he loses it to Ramani, who gets away from the slide challenge of Immobile and works out to the left-hand side. And the left centre-back, Juan Jesus, well won back there by Amir Ramani. Lobotka in centre circle for Napoli. It's now with Ramani. 4-year contract for him with an option of an extra year. Signed in May. A lot of their team that they had last season in their title-winning campaign has been kept. They've signed a lot of them on new contracts later on in last season. So a lot of them have stayed and signed on for quite a few more years as they're in the final third. Di Lorenzo tries to cross it in the box, and it's a header away for a corner for Napoli. Di Lorenzo towards the byline, looking for Osimhen, but it was cut out with a head, and it's a corner kick for Napoli. Zielinski is over there again for another outswinger. His last one reached the head of Osimhen, who headed wide. Right arm raised for Zielinski. And Geese is in there, Osimhen's in there, and it goes outswinger towards the edge of the box. It's cleared. Alberto challenges. Comes out to Kvaratskhelia on the left. From afar, wants to strike, and that has got venom on it. And I think it's been turned behind for a corner. He's such a threat, Kvaratskhelia, and as he picks it up on the edge of the box, his first thought was to shoot. And from around 20 yards out, he let fly, and it had to be tipped over the bar. That was flying at some pace there from the Georgian international. And instead of Zielinski taking an outswinger from the right, it's going to be an in-swinger from Politano. In it goes towards the 6-yard box. It's been flapped at by Providel. He'll run to the far post to Kvaratskhelia. One-on-one with Haizaj. Cuts on the right foot in the box. Clips it to the far post. Osimhen nods it beyond for a goal kick. Politano was there at the far post. He probably would have kept it in. But Osimhen tried to win the header and was always leaning back and headed it behind for a goal kick. But signed last season from Dynamo Batumi, Kvaratskhelia for €12 million. It's an absolute steal. He's a really impressive footballer. It's the first time I'm properly watching the Napoli left winger, and he's very impressive in the opening 21 minutes. As Napoli win it back midway inside the Lazio half. It's now out to the left-hand side here to Kvaratskhelia. First time ball looped around the corner, looking for Politano, who's found himself on the left-hand side. He nods it in the box, looking for Osimhen on the penalty spot. It's a header won by Romagnoli. Alberto plays it forward to Immobile. Not got much support up there on halfway, as he battles with Ramani, pulled down by the Kosovo centre-back, and it'll be a free kick here for Lazio. As both sets of players debate with the referee which decision was the right one. Lazio believe it was a free kick. Immobile just tried to go around the outside of Ramani and just dragged down Immobile, so it probably was a free kick, really. As we're on halfway. With Lazio on the ball, they've taken their free kick short. Still need to get a shot off goal here. Maurizio Sarri's players still not had a shot yet. It's an hard place to come, though. The Diego Armando Maradona Stadium was called the Sao Paulo, but changed in December of 2020 after the death of Diego Maradona. Lazio lose it. Cataldi in midfield. Kvaratskhelia receives it from Zielinski, and they've drived inside here, and they've got it out to the right-hand side now to Politano. Back to Di Lorenzo at right back. Forward to Kvaratskhelia on the edge of the box. Can't work a strike. Works it behind him to Lobotka. He looks wide out to the left. Decides against it and heads to the right-hand side to Ramani. Ball out into Politano. One-on-one with Haizaj. Gets a crossing with the right foot in the 6-yard box. First header won by Romagnoli. Luis Alberto needs to help it away in the box. Up towards Immobile. Loses out and the ball drops to Oliveira. Heads it inside looking for Osimhen. Cleared by Lazio. Up into the Napoli half. Headed forward by Juan Jesus. Towards Anguissa. Loses out to Alberto. It's now Cataldi. Back it goes into the 18-yard box for Lazio with Providel, the goalkeeper. Clears it first time. Can't find Zaccani. Throw in one by Di Lorenzo. Thrown back inside the Napoli half with Amir Ramani. As the box with Jesus. As Napoli last season. 4 losses in the league. 2 of them at home, 2 of them away. Their away losses came to Inter Milan and Monza. And their home defeats came to Lazio and AC Milan. So didn't lose many times here at home. Ended the season with 90 points, and Lazio finished in second behind them, 16 points behind them as well. So quite the big gap between the two sides last season. They were crowned champions on the 4th of May, Napoli, after a 1-1 draw to Udinese, as Zielinski pickpockets Cataldi, and they're in behind here. 25 yards out, wanted to shoot, pokes out to the right instead towards Politano. It's a short ball, can be cut out by Lazio and cleared only as far as Ramani, who switched out to the left, looking in behind for Kvaratskhelia. Overhit, and it'll be a Lazio goal kick. Pass wasn't good enough there by Zielinski as he looked out to Matteo Politano. He's already got the 1 goal so far this season. But he was too poor there. He's been overdone a few times, Danilo Cataldi, the holding midfielder for Lazio. He's lost it a few times. He needs to sort that out. Lazio on the left-hand side with Zaccani. Ball inside to Alberto on halfway. Tries to feed it back into Zaccani. Told to get up as the ball rolls out to Calamada. Free kick. Zaccani. Once he was brought down and didn't receive the free kick, he must have used some language to the referee. And I think Luis Alberto has also been booked for his words. Zaccani wasn't happy for not getting the free kick. And the free kick's gone the other way for the language he used towards the referee. So Zaccani, the Lazio left winger, booked for dissent. Was yellow carded in Lazio's last game. In their (1-0) home defeat to Genoa. It's back underway. Napoli possession just inside their own half of Romani. Ball inside to Anguissa. Once more into Lobotka, who's looking forward, getting away from the pressure from Kamada. Ball worked out to the right side to Politano, but it's been pulled back for the free kick as Lobotka was pushed over and pushed to the ground by Kamada. As again, the referee getting a fair few words from the Lazio players. It was a free kick, though. I don't understand what they're arguing. So the referee, it was clearly a free kick. Kamada pushing Lobotka in the back. That's a free kick as we're 27 minutes in. Still Napoli 0, Lazio 0. Lazio yet to have a shot. Napoli have had a fair few shots at goal. Closest we've come have both come from shots from Kvaratskhelia, who returns for his first start of the season after coming back from injury. Zielinski's over it. It's not really a chance for a shot. It's around 30 yards out. It's on the angle on the Napoli right, so it'd probably be a good chance for an in-swinging cross from Zielinski. He's got Osimhen in there, and Anguissa also. Zielinski puts it in. Header won by Lazio head. Drops to the edge of the box to Luis Alberto. Loses it to Lobotka, who puts it into the air for Anguissa to head on into the box towards Osimhen. Comes back towards Anguissa, who then nods it down to the left to Kvaratskhelia. Plays it back into Anguissa, who's still there for support. He then dinks it out to the right-hand side towards Politano, cut out by Hajzaj. And it will drop in the end for Di Lorenzo for Napoli as they keep possession in the Lazio half. Really well worked here by Rudy Garcia's men. Now manager of Napoli, the Frenchman. Won Ligue 1 back in 2012 with Lille. Rudy Garcia. Now he's at Napoli, returning to Italy after leaving Roma in January of 2016. As Napoli just have possession in their own half with Lobotka. Not much press from Lazio at the minute. Not really forcing Napoli into any dangerous passes. They're just keeping the ball as Politano decides to thump it long in behind. Looking for Osimhen, who's giving Casale a question on the edge of the 18-yard box. He nods it down, but only into the path of Zielinski in the box. Inside to Osimhen, who strikes. It's had to be parried behind for a corner. Osimhen frustrated, the Nigerian. I think there was a flag up actually. As Politano thumped that long. Osimhen was chasing it from an offside position. So linesman flagged for offside. Let the play continue first before putting the flag up for the offside on Osimhen. But the right decision was reached in the end. Sorry for any buffering you may have experienced there as Felipe Anderson burst down the Lazio right into the Napoli box on the byline. Pulls it in. What a flick and what a goal! Luis Alberto at the near post with a spinning shot reaches the back of the net. And Lazio, with their first shot of the match, take the lead 1-0 just before the half an hour mark. What a delicious goal from Luis Alberto. It's his first of the season. He was able to score 6 last season. His last goal coming on the last day of the season. And the ball was worked down the right-hand side for Felipe Anderson in behind Oliveira. It pulled back, was attempted the first time. It came back to Felipe Anderson. Played it through the legs of Oliveira to find Luis Alberto in the box. And the finish is sublime. A roulette flick finish goes beyond Alex Meret at the near post. It's delightful. It's unexpected, but Lazio lead. What a cheeky finish that is from the Spaniard. Back to goal. But he roulettes and spins to flick the ball into the back of the net. That's an unbelievable finish. You do not see that too often. Only real talent can do skills like that. Luis Alberto, take a bow. It's his second ever goal against Napoli. His other one came back in a 2-0 win in the 2020-2021 season. But as Felipe Anderson was found down that right channel, his first pullback was dealt with, the second one wasn't. Alberto free at the front post to flick beyond the goalkeeper and give Lazio a shock lead, because they've done nothing on an attacking front the first half an hour. Until then, as Napoli won an instant response. Ball in the box towards Osimhen, drops to the edge to Zielinski, shoots it, deflects in! It took a wild and cruel deflection for Lazio, and they weren't behind for long there, Napoli. Zielinski will take the credit for the goal, but Providel in the Lazio goal was really badly wrong-footed by the deflection. Zielinski has probably been the most inspired Napoli player so far when on the ball, alongside Kvaratskhelia. And down the right-hand side, Di Lorenzo was tackled. It then fell to Politano, who got that crossing towards Osimhen. It was cleared away by Casale, only as far as Zielinski, who from the edge of the box with his right foot struck. And it took 2 deflections. It took one off Kamada to take it towards the near post. And then it deflected off Romagnoli to take it away to the far post. Completely wrong footing Providel, who had no chance in the Lazio goal. And within a minute, Napoli respond, and it's Napoli 1, Lazio 1. They were not behind for long at all. The reigning Serie A champions. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Alberto skill worth nothing for the minute as Kamada handles the ball inside the Napoli half, and that'll be a free kick for Napoli. Really unfortunate there. Like I say, the shot from Zielinski was aiming for the far left corner. It then deflected off Kamada towards the near post, and then as it was going towards the near post, it then took another deflection off Romagnoli to send it back towards the far post. So you can see where the goalkeeper was caught in 2 minds of diving one way, having to go another, then going the other way again. It was just a big slice of misfortune for Lazio, and their lead lasted under 2 minutes as Rudy Garcia, the Napoli manager, has just been booked there, presuming for some unkind words towards Andrea Colombo, the Italian referee. As we're 1-1, game's really sparked into life the last 5 minutes. Lazio's going with their first shot. Felipe Anderson, ball inside towards Immobile in the final third. It's a heavy touch, and he's dispossessed by Oliveira, the Napoli left back. It's played to the edge of the 18-yard box now to Romani. He will bring it forward, pressed by Alberto. So goes back into his 18-yard box to goalkeeper Meret, who himself, the Napoli keeper, only conceded 24 goals last season in his 34 league appearances. Zielinski dropping deeper into the midfield. Kvaratskhelia around the corner into Oliveira, getting forward from left back as he bursts into the Lazio half. Ball in towards Osimhen just behind the Nigerian, but Di Lorenzo will latch on. I think he was caught in 2 minds there, the right back. Sorry for any buffering there again. The ball was played down the left side there for Oliveira, and he got a ball in the box just behind Osimhen, and it fell right through to the right hand side to Di Lorenzo, who got forward from right back. And his mind, I think, was torn between shooting and crossing. Can did a bit of both and sent it over the crossbar. Providel, the Lazio goalkeeper, playing it forward and up towards Immobile. Bullied off the ball easily, but then Lazio win it back as it's a misplaced ball from Lobotka. Now Kamada enters the Napoli half, plays out to the right hand side to Felipe Anderson. 1-on-1 with Oliveira. The number 7 enters the Napoli box, plays it inside, gets beyond 2 Napoli players and shoots. And it's blocked by Juan Jesus to take it behind for a Lazio corner. Really good running at the defence there from Felipe Anderson. Going on the inside of Oliveira and taking it away from Lobotka. Really good skill from the Brazilian. From one Brazilian to another. Juan Jesus, centre-back for Napoli, deflected behind for a corner. So Lazio have another chance to try and get their noses in front after their last lead only lasted under 2 minutes. Luis Alberto will take. There'll be an outswinger with his right boot. The number 10 for Lazio. It's one towards the penalty spot where the header is won by Anguissa. Falls to the edge of the box towards Kvaratskhelia, who tries to bring it down. He does do so, and he feeds it out towards the right to Politano. Gets there at a Kamada. He lays it off to Ramani. Back out to Politano on the right, but he's tackled strongly by Hajsaj. Great tackle, by the Albanian. And it's Lazio back in possession in the centre circle with number 7, Felipe Anderson, who's come into the middle of the pitch there from the right-hand side. And getting it out to the left to Daichi Kamada, the Japanese international. Slowing the game down with a couple of 1-2s with Luis Alberto. Cataldi back on halfway now with Romagnoli, formerly with Roma and AC Milan. The composed left-footed centre-half. Plays it out to the left to Luis Alberto. Down the line to Zaccani. Try to take on Ramani. Gets taken down, but the referee tells Zaccani to get back onto his feet. Zielinski gets on the edge of the 18-yard box. Fed beautifully out to the right-hand side to Politano. Getting away from the on-chasing Cataldi. Still bursting away from the holding midfielder down the right-hand side, doing some left-back work. Plays it inside to the edge of the box to Anguissa. Allows the challenge and is tackled, and the ball is taken away from Anguissa. It's now back with Lazio inside their own half. With Kamada, the number 6. Won the Europa League a couple seasons ago with Eintracht Frankfurt. Scored 5 goals in that Europa League run with Frankfurt. Cataldi plays it forward into the Napoli half down the left-hand side to Luis Alberto, who's just peeled out to the left-hand side here. Runs towards the Napoli goal. Edge of the box, 22 yards out. Goes out to the right to Felipe Anderson. First time ball in the box towards Immobile. Can't get there ahead of Juan Jesus, and it's cleared by the Brazilian centre-half. Only as far as Maruzic, the right-back, who loses out, and the ball's played forward to Kvaratskhelia in behind. Towards the box, got Osimhen on the overlap. Plays it to the Nigerian. Plays it across goal. No one's there. And Lazio survive the Napoli scare. As Maruzic won the ball back for Lazio, but his touch was heavy, which allowed Napoli to play it over the top in his position to get them in behind, but Osimhen wastes. And it's Lazio back in possession inside their own half, taking it very slowly as players just catch their breath and have a slight pause in the game. In the left-back area for Lazio. They go back to their goalkeeper, Providel, who has been at 10 clubs in his career, the 29-year-old, all Italian clubs. Seems like he's got a settled home here now at Lazio after joining last season from Spezia. Having an unbelievable season, as I mentioned before. But it's interesting how he got his break into the first team, Providel. He was subbed on in the first game of last season after their goalkeeper was substituted, and he didn't miss a minute after. As Luis Alberto has it in the Napoli half, midway inside the opposition half, plays out to the right to Felipe Anderson, edge of the box, into the box, it goes through a pass to Immobile, cut out beautifully for Napoli, and Lobotka can bring it away. But that was a chance for Lazio. They've got to do better in the final third, try to feed their main man, Ciro Immobile. This is Politano on the Napoli right, wanting to cut onto his stronger left foot, instead goes for the overlap to Di Lorenzo, byline, lifts it into the box, it's Oliveira on the volley, and it's over the bar, about 10 yards out. The Uruguayan left back caught it a bit too nicely. Struck it whole with that left foot. And over the bar it went. quite far over the bar as well. He was nowhere near. Just got over it there. Oliveira, who has scored twice for Napoli since joining last season from Getafe. Scored twice in the league, once in October and once in April. 5 minutes to go the first half. Lazio play out from the back. It's Cataldi getting away from Zielinski and playing it across to his left to Ciro Immobile. Furthest left here is Zaccagni. 1-on-1 with Di Lorenzo. He's going to drive inside towards the edge of the box. Plays it back though as he wasn't surrounded by options. And it's now Luis Alberto. Centre of the park now is Daichi Kamada. Goes out to the right now to Marusic. Lays it off into Felipe Anderson. Can't get away. Oh yes, he can get away momentarily from Oliveira. And away from Kvaratskhelia. But Oliveira on the recovery challenges. And wins a goal kick as it came off Felipe Anderson last. I think his corner has been given. Oliveira getting the final touch, tackling Felipe Anderson. And Luis Alberto will come over to take. Scored on the half-an-hour mark to make it Lazio 1, Napoli 0. With an audacious little roulette flick at the near post as he twisted on the ball. Outswinger in, met by Osimhen at the near post, forward to Kvaratskhelia, heavy touch and loses out to Cataldi. Goes back to halfway to Haizaj. And once more to Providel. Lazio do regain possession, but it's right inside their own 18-yard box with their goalkeeper Ivan Providel. Plays it forward, 5 yards to Romagnoli. Cataldi, midway inside his own half here. Again, the press isn't really strong from a Napoli point of view. It's Kamada, left-footed diagonal ball towards Immobile on the edge of the 18-yard box, headed on by Romani. Flicks it to his right back, Di Lorenzo, forward to Politano. Try to get away from Haizaj, but he does win a throw-in. Politano for Napoli, just inside his own half as he throws it back into Amir Romani. Dropped very deep for the ball here. Piotr Zielinski, starting his 8th season at Napoli, the Polish international. In every single season he's played in Serie A, he's always played 35 league games or more. It shows consistency and reliability as it's Kvaratskhelia in the final third. Tackled firstly by Felipe Anderson, then a second time by Marusic. That can be taken away from the Georgia international. It's Felipe Anderson driving inside. Too much of it shown to Lobotka, who wins it back, gets through into the box. Transfer strike, decides to pull it back instead towards Osimhen. And in the 6-yard box, it was vitally cleared by Cataldi. And Lazio nearly go behind. Lobotka dispossessing Felipe Anderson, driving in the box, getting away from Cataldi, who then made up for it by intercepting the Lobotka pass towards Osimhen. It's now taken short and quickly to Zielinski, forward into Oliveira, out to Kvaratskhelia, and 1-on-1. Cross the far post. Acrobatic attempt from Politano, but it was headed away from him by Haizaj. And it'll drop towards Zaccagni. Heads forward, drops to Immobile. Midway inside his own half here. The striker having to drop deep for the ball. Feeding out to the right to Kamada. It's now to number 7, Felipe Anderson. He's also starting his 8th season in Serie A. Rejoined from West Ham in 2021. After spending a couple of years at the Hammers. Immobile has it for Lazio. Goes back to Alberto, who switches out to the right to Felipe Anderson. Brings it down. Loads of room and space for the Brazilian to pick across. Deep one to the far post towards Immobile. It's flicked away from him by Di Lorenzo, the Napoli right back. Drops to Politano towards the corner flag here as he's back doing his defensive work. Being pressured by Alberto. Back heels it down the line. Politano. And it falls to Lobotka, who's fouled in the right back area. And it'll be a free kick for Napoli. Lobotka coming so close to entering the Lazio box, but it was a good interception by Cataldi to take it away there from Osimhen. Left back Oliveira for Napoli. To the edge of the box to Juan Jesus, who's won 50% of his meetings previously against Lazio. 6 wins in 12. mixed results coming against Lazio, whereas it's Kvaratskhelia back into his own half with centre back Juan Jesus. Napoli had won the last 4 games against Lazio before the end of last season, where Lazio travelled to Naples to pick up the 3 points. He's got 2 minutes added on. We've already played 15 seconds of it. Ball down the line, looking for Zielinski. Can't get away from Casale. Throw for Napoli. Kvaratskhelia to take. Throwing it back into his own half here to Jesus. And across to the right to Romani. And Gisa. Out on halfway to Politano. Drives it inside to Di Lorenzo. Making a run off the ball, Politano. But opts against using it, Di Lorenzo. It's now on halfway with Anguissa. All Lazio men behind the ball. As they defend compactly. Try and get in at half time with a draw. It's Lobotka. Got Politano to his right. Plays it shorter to Di Lorenzo instead. Now out to Politano. One-on-one with a Lazio fullback. Hajzaj. Few step overs. And playing it back into Di Lorenzo. Who's allowed to cross it low. And it's met by Kamada. And up to halfway where Romani gets there ahead of Immobile. Flicks over the captain's head. Keeps possession for Napoli. Oliveira. Down the line towards Kvaratskhelia. And very importantly blocked off there by Casale. As Kvaratskhelia was nearly in behind. It's Zielinski now on the left. In the final third. Driving inside. Ball in the box to Anguissa. Backheel towards Kvaratskhelia. It's well dealt with by Lazio. Clear in the box. It's out towards halfway to Lobotka on the left hand side. Down the left channel it goes. Finds Oliveira the left back. Osimhen's in there. Goes short and low instead towards Kvaratskhelia. His shot's blocked. 16 yards out from goal. Can be kept alive by Napoli midfield. With Zielinski. We've nearly played the 2 minutes of added on time. And the ball forward to Kvaratskhelia. Edge of the box is Anguissa. Twisting and turning. Looking out to the left hand side and finds Oliveira. And before Napoli can mount another attack, the referee blows for half time. And at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium at half time, it is Napoli 1, Lazio 1. And it has begun. All Napoli so far in the opening exchanges. 12 shots, 4 on target. Couple of opening strikes in the first 20 minutes from Kvaratskhelia was the closest Napoli came until in the 30th minute, Luis Alberto with Lazio's first strike on goal. The ball was played down the right channel, played inside by Felipe Anderson, and an unmarked Luis Alberto swivelled it home on the turn with a nice flick at the near post to get it beyond Alex Mera in the Napoli goal, and it put Lazio 1-0 up after their first shot. But only under 2 minutes later, Zielinski from the edge of the box let a strike fly. It deflected twice, which wrong-footed Ivan Providel in the Lazio goal. It trickled into the bottom left corner for Napoli to equalise straight away. And at half-time, it is Napoli 1, Lazio 1. And I'm going to go for half-time. Make sure you're back in 15 minutes for the second half between Napoli and Lazio. And at half-time, it is Napoli 1, Lazio 0. Napoli 1, Lazio 1. We are back for the second half. I hope we can try and get a smoother second half of the stream and not have as much buffering. If any buffering was happening throughout the first half, I apologise. I hope all goals were commentated on and you could hear all the commentary without any disconnections. But it's 1-1 as we were going to get off with the second half in a minute or so time. Lazio took the lead 1-0, half an hour in. Luis Alberto with a lovely flick at the near post to get it away from Alex Meret. And then 2 minutes later, Piotr Zielinski had a strike on the edge of the box deflected twice, which then got it beyond Lazio goalkeeper Ivan Providel. Second half will start. Got commentary tomorrow as well. Rangers taking on Celtic at the Old Firm derby. Stats and info off the scale as usual. Thank you very much. I do try my best with the stats to make them as interesting as possible. And a little bit of a story and a bit of research I was doing. I thought these might be interesting. With Napoli, Napoli were relegated to Serie B, so the league below Serie A, as you could imagine. For the 1998-1999 season, after finishing 18th in Serie A in 97-98, and returned Serie A after 2 seasons in the second tier. And then their first season back to the top tier led to another relegation, where they spent another 3 seasons in Serie B, and then relegated to the third tier after filing for bankruptcy, and they finished third in 04-05 in their first season in Serie C in the third tier, and then was promoted the season after, winning the Serie C title in 2006, and then was then promoted back to Serie A in the first time of asking, after winning Serie B in 2007, and then from 2007 onwards they have always been in Serie A. This is their 17th consecutive season in the top flight, but you just think of Napoli and you just think them as always being in the top tier of Italian football, but you know, that's a lot of seasons in Serie B, and a little bit of time in Serie C, as well in the third tier of Italian football. I thought that was just interesting to find out that in the history, the fact that it's not always been plain sailing for Napoli. They have had some struggles going to the lower tiers of Italian football, but their main trophies, their last Serie A title before their one last season, came in 1990. They had to wait 33 years. They also won one in 1987. That was when they both seasons they won the Serie A title in obviously the 1990 and 1987. Both had Maradona in their squads. For the Serie A title wins, then they also won the UEFA Cup, which is now the Europa League, in 1989 as well. Certain Maradona would have been in the squad as well for that. So obviously a lot of their success that they have had in terms of Serie A titles and the UEFA Cup were down to Maradona, hence why the stadium was named after him, after his passing in December of 2020. But a little bit of Napoli knowledge there for you, a bit of Napoli history. And also as well, both teams, due to the fact that Napoli finished first last season and Lazio finished second as well, and they are both in the Champions League, and Napoli will have Real Madrid, Braga and Union Berlin in their group. That's in Group C. And Lazio will be in Group E, and they will have Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid and Celtic as well. So a quite favourable group, really. If Lazio can start performing better, they've started the season horrifically with 2 losses, and those 2 losses unfortunately came to Lecce away 2-1, and then last week they lost at home 1-0 to Genoa. But it's not a horrific group that for Lazio, as both sides are now re-entering the field. So it's important to mention as well, I've mentioned it a few sorry for the buffering, I can't do anything about it. I don't know what to do about it. I do completely apologise that it keeps interrupting. But Rudi Garcia, the Napoli manager, as I mentioned before, also managed Roma as well. They're 2 quite big rivals in in Italian football, Napoli and Roma. The derby is named Derby of the Sun. And obviously, Maurizio Sarri, formerly a manager of Napoli as well for 3 years, he went to the dark side and managed Napoli's bitter rivals Juventus. Napoli fans weren't happy when Sarri managed Juventus, but in his time at Juventus he did win the Serie A title. Now he's with Lazio. As both sets of players are out for the second half. It'll be Napoli kicking left to right, Lazio right to left. It'll be Napoli to kick us off as well. Just waiting for the referee's whistle of Andrea Colombo. And we do resume play with the ball being played back to Juan Jesus. It's now played out to the left to Kvaratskhelia. Ball around the corner, looking up front for Osimhen. It's taken over by Anguissa on the edge of the 18-yard box. He'll drift out to the left-hand side. It's in the left wing position here. He's got Oliveira as an option at left back who gets forward. He feeds it into him. He pulls it back. It's cleared for Lazio as far as Lobotka. Kvaratskhelia lifts it into the box for Osimhen. Chests it down towards Zielinski, who strikes. Parried by the Lazio goalkeeper Providel. And Napoli straight after their break, looking to not regain the lead, take the lead for the first time, but it'll be Lazio to counter-attack with Felipe Anderson. Ball inside to Immobile, lays it off to Luis Alberto, 22 yards away from goal, in behind, in the box, Immobile! Oh, it's a great save by Alex Meret. Flag goes up anyway. If there's an offside in the build-up there. Alberto feeding it to Immobile, who just strayed offside. But lively first minute of the second half. Kvaratskhelia putting it in the box for Osimhen, who chested it down to Zielinski, who struck with power. He's already got one tonight, Zielinski. Nearly got a second, but it was more towards the goalkeeper, so it was a easier save for the goalkeeper to make. Right, we're back now. Hopefully that sorts out the connections issues. It probably won't sort out the connection issues, but what can you do exactly? It's not really in my power. As Napoli have it on the edge of the box with Romani to right back Di Lorenzo. Poor touch, has to chase it down, just keep it in. Goes back even further to Romani into the 6-yard box to Meret, who clears first time down the Napoli right channel. It's chested down by Osimhen, keeps it down beautifully and latches out to Politano. What a switch out to Kvaratskhelia. 1-on-1 with Marusic. The Lazio right back tries to play inside towards Zielinski, but Felipe Anderson takes it off him as he comes back to defend for his side. It's now with Lobotka, as Lazio can only clear up to Napoli on the halfway. And Anguissa out to the right to Di Lorenzo, the Napoli captain. Here's Politano, the Napoli right winger, charging down that right-hand side. Trying to chop onto his left foot, stopped, and ball taken off him by Luis Alberto, who gets away from 2 Napoli men, but then he's dispossessed by Politano, who swings an in-swinger into the box, cleared on the penalty spot by Lazio. Only as far as Juan Jesus. Napoli regain it on, as Lazio regain it on the edge of the 18-yard box, but there's an offside flag anyway. So we're just trying to sort out these connection issues. As we have Lazio on the ball in their own half with their back 4. Down the left into Zaccani, can't quite find Immobile on halfway, goes beyond him, and Juan Jesus can have it for Napoli as they find Lobotka in the centre circle here. the Napoli holding midfielder, looking forward to play ball in between the lines, which he loves to do. And he finds Zielinski, who goes further wide right to Politano in the Lazio defensive third. He has to go back to Di Lorenzo. First time ball in the box, looking for Zielinski. It's a miscued clearance there by Cataldi. And that'll be a throw-in for Napoli. Taken quickly into Zielinski. Towards the corner flag, tackled again by Luis Alberto. Another throw-in for Giovanni Di Lorenzo to take for Napoli. Won Serie B. Giovanni Di Lorenzo with Empoli in the 2017-2018 season before making his move to Napoli in 2019. So he's not always been a Serie A player, Di Lorenzo, but he's really come forward and now captain of Napoli, obviously winning them and leading them to their first league title in 30 years last season. It's out to left back Oliveira, just inside the Napoli half. Plays it forward into Kvaratskhelia. Has to go back to left back Oliveira. Then once more into Juan Jesus and then into the 18-yard box to Alex Meret for Napoli, as they've been forced back into their own half here as Lazio push up and press a little bit further forward, but the press really is not that what's the word, quick. It's very much a walking press from Lazio, as they've got Napoli currently stuck inside their own half, but not really sprinting at them to win the ball back here. It's very laboured press from Lazio. As Lobotka in the left-back position for Napoli. 5.5 minutes in, it's been a quick, rapid start to the second half with both Napoli and Lazio getting chances. Out to right back on halfway, Di Lorenzo. Plays it 5 yards forward into Politano, who's forced back towards his own goal to Romani. Politano in the right back area. First time ball forward, looking up front for Osimhen. Header won by Casale, but drops only as far as Lobotka, just inside his own half. And they're going to look out now to the left to Zielinski. His pass has been intercepted by Felipe Anderson. He will take it away from the Polish international, and Lazio can burst away down this right-hand side. Immobile's entered the box. He pulls it back instead to the edge to Alberto. He dummies it to Kamada in the box. Left-footed shot, and the Japanese international scores his first goal for his new club, Lazio. And we have another lead for the team who were chasing Napoli last season. Couldn't catch them at all. But now, at the start of a new season, they're halting their title charge. Napoli will want to reclaim the title. But Lazio are slowing that down as they lead them away from home. Really good counter-attack there from Lazio. It was well won back from Felipe Anderson, who's done his defensive work really well. Something he was criticised for at West Ham. Felipe Anderson not doing his defensive work, but he got back, got the ball on halfway, drove forward towards the edge of the box, pulled it right across to Luis Alberto, who dummied it to Daichi Kamada, who took over, who was driving towards the left-hand side, took a shot across goal back towards the right corner, and that's where it fell. Bottom right corner, zipped across the turf, into that bottom right corner, away from Alex Meret in the Napoli goal. And Lazio regain the lead again. And it's Napoli 1, Lazio 2. Great finish there from Kamada. Signed on a free from Frankfurt, and he gets his first goal for his new club. Wander the left foot, the Japanese, and he's showing off again why he is so good. And that's why so many big clubs wanted him at the end of his contract at Frankfurt, Daichi Kamada. He had a few options to go to. AC Milan were interested. Borussia Dortmund wanted to keep him in Germany. But he chose Lazio to work under Maurizio Sarri. And they lead away at Napoli again. Can they hold the lead longer this time? They lost it in 2 minutes in the first half. And Politano wants to score. He gets another goal. Cross into the box. Header away by Lazio. Well, as far as Lobotka. Keeps it alive for Napoli. And he's fouled there by Immobile. It'll be a free kick for Napoli, who are in their all-black jersey tonight. Immobile not happy with the decision given to give the free kick there. But that will go down as a Felipe Anderson assist, as Luis Alberto didn't touch the ball. He dummied it to let Kamada get onto it, as he then dispatched away to give Lazio another lead. As I mentioned before, the two meetings last season both ended in away wins between these two. Lazio did come here and win back in March. Vecino with the goal in the 67th minute. That was Napoli's first home defeat in the league for that season. They also then went on to lose against AC Milan as well. Zielinski puts it into the box. Osimhen goes for it. Lazio head wins it and then volleyed away by Luis Alberto. Up in the sky. Brought down beautifully by Zielinski. Then lifts it out towards the Napoli left. Headed away by Kamada as far as Lobotka, who drives into the Lazio half. Lifts it over the slide challenge. And Kvaratskhelia couldn't keep it in. And it's a throw-in for Maurizio Sarri's team. Shock lead. They don't really deserve it. Napoli have been much better, but every time Lazio have had a really big chance, both times they've taken them. Daichi Kamada with the goal. As I mentioned, from Japan, left Japan in July of 2017 to move into Europe to make himself more of a name in football. As Lazio clear up the field, only on halfway to Romani. Osimhen on the right, pulled back into the box, into the 6-yard box, but no Napoli player was there to even attempt to get on the end of it. He was right towards the keeper anyway, so not much pressure on the goalkeeper. He's on halfway with Zaccani, the Lazio left winger, back to Luis Alberto, who's just keeping possession for his side and lays it into Cataldi, into Luis Alberto again, formerly of Liverpool for 3 years. Luis Alberto couldn't quite make it at Anfield as he finds Felipe Anderson out wide to the left to Immobile. Back inside again, but it's a good tackle by Juan Jesus to regain possession for Napoli, but it's only dropped to a Lazio man on halfway. So Lazio back in possession. Felipe Anderson. Ball over the top now for Immobile. It's poorly hit and I am going to lose it. And we're back again. I do apologise. This is doing my head in. I'm really sorry. There's nothing I can say other than I'm sorry. My internet is absolutely rubbish. We return though. It's still 2-1 to Lazio. Just gaining the lead a couple minutes ago. Through Kamada, their new signing from Frankfurt on a free. Napoli have a corner. Politano's over it as a left-footed in-swinging option. We've also got Zielinski on it as well. Zielinski walks away, so it'll be a left-footed in-swinger. It's a driven ball all the way to the far post, where it falls to Kvaratskhelia on the volley, tries to shoot, drops in the box and can be cleared by Lazio. Trying something different from the free kick, not quite working out. As it is Kvaratskhelia to regain possession for Napoli towards halfway. Has to go back inside his own half to keep the ball with Juan Jesus. It's now with Anguissa, number 99. The central midfielder for Napoli got to the Europa League final in 2018 with Marseille, Anguissa, before losing that final. As Lobotka drives forward, lays off into Di Lorenzo. Politano's furthest wide right, everything to his left, takes it down the outside, crosses it with the right foot towards Osimhen on the 6-yard line. It's headed away, only fires the edge of the box to Zielinski. He drives wide. They shot in the first half, took two wild deflections, then it went into the back of the net. That time it was a clean strike, right the way through the crowd. And out for a goal kick. Don't think he quite connected with it as well as he would have liked there, Zielinski. Shinned it a little bit and wide it went. But Lazio have defended their lead a bit longer than their last lead that they had. They've had the lead for 8 minutes now. They only had the lead for 2 minutes in the first half. As Napoli works out to the left in the final third again. Kvaratskhelia taking it inside, laying it to the edge of the box to Lobotka. He fancies a shot. It's blocked the first time, falls to the edge to Kamada, and can be played out by Lazio. As Kamada has it, plays it to his left to Alberto. Strives forward, plays a ball over the top, in behind the Napoli defence. Is he onside Immobile? He can't get inside. He can't get on the ball anyway because Alex Meret in the Napoli goal comes out as a sweeper keeper to take the ball away from Immobile. And Napoli survived because I think he was onside there, Immobile. But Alex Meret was there to clear. Anguissa pickpockets Alberto, but the tackle's gone on as far as a Lazio man. And Lazio keep possession with a goalkeeper, Providel. It's a wayward clearance to the right back, Marusic. and can be cleared down the right hand side for Lazio, but it's picked up by left back Oliveira. Kvaratskhelia pickpocketed fairly as well by Felipe Anderson. Ball inside to Luis Alberto. He'll collect it midway inside the Napoli half. Charging forward, edge of the box. Does he want to shoot? He's thinking about it. Gets onto his right foot, plays it through towards an offside man in Zakanya. And Luis Alberto will be booked for dissent. On the edge of the box, he was tackled. He wanted a free kick. Won't get the free kick. It's a free kick though. Kvaratskhelia catches Luis Alberto as he passes it forward. Should have been a free kick on the edge of the box, really. So no wonder he's frustrated. Then he goes and gets booked for showing his frustration. Overall, for Lazio and Luis Alberto, that's just very frustrating. But there's Alex Meret taking it away from Ciro Immobile, who was bearing down on the Napoli goal. And if he got it past Alex Meret, it was an open goal for him. So, key piece of goalkeeping from the Italian 26-year-old. Making his 115th appearance in Serie A. And Geisha on halfway. Being tackled by Luis Alberto, but he works it to Zielinski. Kvaratskhelia on halfway line to Anguissa Lobotka. Try to work it down the left-hand side here, Napoli, with Kvaratskhelia, who receives it and plays it back to left-back Oliveira. Still on the halfway line, we have Anguissa looking forward, looking for a pass, lays it off into Lobotka, turning away from Kamada, going out to the left again to Kvaratskhelia. Inside to Zielinski, on the edge of the box. Can't shoot, but the tackle goes into the box to Osimhen. He lays it off to Kvaratskhelia. First shot block, loops into the sky, headed on. Can be collected here by Zielinski on the right-hand side. Finds Politano, back out to Zielinski, towards the byline. He's onside, pulls it back towards Di Lorenzo, who's told to get up as he's fouled. Well, not fouled, as he's tackled. And in the end, there's an offside flag up for Lazio as they can breathe a little. Won the ball there in the box anyway, Cataldi, as Di Lorenzo went down under the challenge. It wouldn't have been a penalty if there wasn't an offside. As Di Lorenzo does need some treatment as we're 62 minutes in. Despite the ball was won, Di Lorenzo must have been caught in the process by Cataldi, who come through the academy at Lazio, the holding midfielder. Yet to score in his previous 14 appearances against Napoli. He also signed a contract extension in April 2023 to keep his stay at his club till 2027. Still 2-1 to Lazio. Their lead was regained in the second half by Kamada, who scored in the 52nd minute. Lazio have had 2 shots and they've both been on target. So it's been a frustrating night so far for Napoli, the reigning champions. We've only lost one of their last 10 games competitively. They had an unbeaten pre-season as well, winning 5 and drawing 1, scoring 15 as well in the process in pre-season, Napoli. They went 15 games last season without a loss. Napoli to start the season, 13 wins and 2 draws. We could be starting with an early loss here as Lazio still have the lead. Away at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Down the right channel, it's gone to Felipe Anderson in the final third towards the byline. Can he get a ball in the box? It's a low one towards Alberto, cleared on the penalty spot by Politano, only as far as Casale. Now Cataldi, 25 yards out, shoots from range, and that's probably why he has never scored against Napoli in his previous 14 attempts. Cataldi lifting it way over the crossbar, no worry in the end for Napoli and their goalkeeper Alex Meret. As it looks like it's going to be a Napoli double change. It looks like Lazio are going to make a change as well. With 26 minutes to go it's going to be Daisuke Kamada, who's yet to complete a full 90 minutes. Was subbed off in the 54th minute in the first game and in the 66th minute in the second game, and now in the 65th minute he'll be replaced by new signing made a couple days ago from Marseille, Matteo Guendouzi. His long hair, you might remember him from Arsenal. Spent 4 years at the Gunners, and previously before that he'd been at PSG during his youth days, and he's just had a successful spell out in Marseille. So the current winner of the game, Kamada, is replaced by Guendouzi. The Napoli changes will be made a little bit later on, as they are still waiting on the sidelines, and now the changes will be made in the 65th minute. Number 17 will be coming off. Uruguayan left back Mateus Oliveira. Joined for €11 million last season from Getafe. He will be replaced by Mario Rui. And then another change for Napoli will be Giacomo Raspadori. He'll come off for Kvaratskhelia, who's only just returning back from injury. Even though he's been one of the better players today for Napoli, he is returning from injury that he picked up in pre-season. So the Georgia international can only play 65 minutes. So he'll be replaced by Giacomo Raspadori, who did start the previous 2 games of the season due to Kvaratskhelia being injured. But he's yet to score or assist. They need him to come up with something tonight. As Napoli have it in the centre circle with Anguissa. Goes out to the left to Zielinski. Forward to Mario Rui. Getting his first few touches of the ball. The Portuguese international. 1-2 with Anguissa just ahead of the left back. So it's back in Lazio possession with Cataldi. In his own half, forcing it out to the left-hand side. Well done as well, because he's been pressed there quickly by Anguissa. Haizaj, the left back, who is right-footed, forced back towards his own goal, try to turn away from Politano, and he does do so nicely, the Albanian. Then a left-footed ball forward towards halfway to Immobile, turns and finds a forward ball to Guendouzi. He feeds it in here to Zaccagni. Is he onside? The flag stays down. He bears down on goal, slotted into the bottom right corner, and Lazio have a 2-goal lead. They have had 3 shots on target in this game, Lazio, and they've scored all 3. Huge upset here for Napoli, who are usually so good at home, but they're being beaten badly. Great ball up by Haizaj to find Immobile. What a turn with a pass as well into Guendouzi, who passed the halfway line, and an easy ball forward down the left channel for Zaccagni to get onto. And as he bared down on goal, he opened up the body to find the far right corner. Just placed it so delicately beyond Alex Meret in the Napoli goal. And with just over 20 minutes to play, it is Napoli 1, Lazio 3. And it is a real smash and grab. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. It's an away masterclass, but it will stay 2-1. Offside, I thought he may have been, as Guendouzi released the pass towards Zaccagni. He's gone too early. He was in an offside position. And VAR tonight is Alejandro Di Paolo. And he's reviewed it, and it's offside, and the lead stays at 1. Let off for Napoli and Rudy Garcia. I thought as Guendouzi had just come off the bench, I thought he'd just played the pass too soon, and he had done. As Osimhen's been found in behind here. It's a long ball. It's a long lifted ball down the right channel, just inside the box on the byline. Works across to the far post. It's curling away from goal. It can be headed away by Marusic, who's clattered to the ground by Mario Rui. And it'll be a free kick for Lazio on the edge of the 18-yard box. Zaccagni, great finish. Yet to score this season. The only person that has scored for Lazio before today was Ciro Immobile on the opening day of the season away at Lecce. Lazio have it, edge of the 18-yard box. Back into their own box here with goalkeeper Providel. Goes forward to the edge of the box to Cataldi. Has to play the way he's facing, so goes back to Casale. Down the right channel for Cataldi. Picked up though by Juan Jesus. Plays it towards Raspadori. Heavy touch, and he has to block a Lazio clearance. It's a Lazio throw-in. Be Marusic to take. Usually a left-back, the Montenegrin, who was born in Belgrade in Serbia, but represents Montenegro. Throws it inside towards Luis Alberto. Plays it away from Anguissa. Ball over the top by Felipe Anderson, looking for Immobile. Challenges for the ball, and in the end it deflects off Juan Jesus straight to the path of Felipe Anderson, who's in a central position. Now it's worked out to the left-hand side to Zaccagni. Just had a goal disallowed. Plays it inside to Luis Alberto. Midway inside the Napoli half. Ball forward to Immobile. Facing goal. Edge of the box on the left-hand side. Plays it inside. It's a Jesus clearance for Napoli on the edge of the box. Only as far as Romagnoli. Nods it down into Luis Alberto. Looking forward to break through this Napoli defence. Plays it to Felipe Anderson. Gets the return for the 1-2. Bearing down on goal. Pokes it in the box. It deflects towards the path of Immobile. Drops instead to Guendouzi! Straight off the bench with a goal. On his Lazio debut, the Frenchman bags to make it 3-1. And now, surely they have their 2-goal lead. Matteo Guendouzi, who'd only signed this week on an original loan with an option to buy, scores with a fantastic finish. Luis Alberto, who's been unbelievable today, he's passed through towards Zaccagni, deflected through towards Immobile. As it was reaching the Italian striker, Juan Jesus came in with a slide challenge, and as he kicked the ball away, it fell straight into the path of Guendouzi, who wrapped it around Mario Rui. It actually may have took a deflection off the left back. He wrapped his foot around it. I think it deflected off the substitute Napoli left back, off the post, into the back of the net. And with 19 minutes to go, Lazio again lead. The goal is, though, being checked with VAR. Possible offside. Will Lazio have a 4th goal? Well, will they have a goal disallowed? They've had the ball in the net 4 times tonight. One of them's already been disallowed. And the referee, Andrea Colombo, I think, is going over to the monitor to check. So Lazio have scored 4 times. But as Luis Alberto was playing it through to Zaccagni, he was offside. He was definitely offside. And the fact that Zaccagni had made the run forced Di Lorenzo at right back to deflect the ball away, which then put it in the path of Juan Jesus, who then had to slide, challenge the ball away, and that's when it fell to Guendouzi. So possibly this was going to be disallowed because Zaccagni's running behind meant that Di Lorenzo had to try and block the ball. So that means the offside player had interfered. So I think this will be disallowed again. VAR will disallow the goal again. Lazio have scored 4 times, 2 of them disallowed. Luis Alberto's ball in behind looking for Zaccagni. Was played as Zaccagni was in an offside position. And we stay at 2-1. This is crazy. Zaccagni had the ball in the net about 5 minutes ago. Guendouzi's just had it in the net. And neither of them will stand. 2 goals disallowed in 3 minutes. What a wild game this has been between first and second of last season. And Lazio, in their first 2 games of this season, have not picked up any points. So to go away from home to Napoli, and that's where you get your season started, it's not the worst result in the world. Lazio have it in their right back area with Marusic. Down line to Anderson, still in his own half, plays it off of Mario Rui for a Lazio throw-in. They've had a few decent runs last season. Lazio started the season with only 1 loss in their first 11, and that first loss came at home to Napoli in their 5th game of the season. And then between February and April, they went 8 unbeaten, winning 7 and drawing 1. And some of those wins came against Napoli away, Roma they beat as well, and Juventus. So really deserved of their 2nd place finish last year. Lazio came out with some fantastic wins. Immobile receives it on the edge of the box, can't move away from Di Lorenzo. It's now with Lobotka. Raspadori, long ball over the top, in behind looking for Osimhen, headed away by the goalkeeper, Providel, as Osimhen nearly got in behind. And it's now with Haizaj. in left-back position. The Albanian needs to clear with his right boot. Right up to Luis Alberto, who brings it down beautifully. Shifts it forward to Ciro Immobile. But the ball had deflected off the referee, so play is stopped. Substitute for Napoli. Politano will come off, and he will be replaced by another new signing. Jesper Lindström, another player that they have taken away from Eintracht Frankfurt. He joined on a £5 million loan with an option of a buy clause of $20 million for the young 23-year-old attacking midfielder who I think will play out wide tonight. Jesper Lindström taking the number 29. Also won the Europa League with Kamada a few seasons ago with Frankfurt. Can he make the difference for Rudy Garcia? Halfway for Napoli on the left-hand side. Mario Rui playing it down the line. Deflects on as far as Marusic for Lazio at right back. Plays it inside to Casale. Into the centre circle to Luis Alberto. Takes it on the turn. Away from Lindström, but can't get away from Lobotka. Great turn from Raspadori. Now finds Lindström, who's bearing down on goal on the right-hand side. Tries to drive inside the box. Brought down on the edge. And the referee sees it as no foul. And Lindström has to get up and continue. Really charging down towards goal with menace there. Lindström looking to cause some havoc. Just coming off the bench, but he was blocked off by two Lazio players, and the referee didn't see it as an illegal move. So it's a goal kick for Lazio to take. Clipped out to the left-hand side now for Lazio. They lose it with Lindström, but it's cleared only as far as Romagnoli. Clears it long up into the Napoli half towards Immobile. Cut out by Juan Jesus, but helped on by Zaccagni. Again looking for Immobile. Clearance again gone straight to Zaccagni. Tries to cut inside here on the Lazio left. Goes into Guendouzi, centre of the park. Back he goes to Cataldi to keep possession here. Drives forward away from Anguissa in towards Immobile. Cut out by Juan Jesus and played back to Alex Meret by Anguissa, and Napoli, the team, back in possession. Juan Jesus, midway inside his own half. Napoli running out of time. Curling ball out to the right towards Di Lorenzo. It's a heavy one, and he can't quite beat Hysaj to it. So it'll be a throw for Napoli. Taken quickly by Di Lorenzo. Gets the return from Lindström, then gets it back into the Danish international, who wins another throw-in for his side. Sorry, it's the only player that Frankfurt have been robbed from by Napoli, because obviously Kamada's joined Lazio and Lindström's joined Napoli. Raspadori find himself on the right-hand side here. Just lays it off into right-back Di Lorenzo. Lifted ball in towards the penalty spot towards Osimhen. Headed away by Lazio to the edge of the box to Anguissa. Looks to the left towards Zielinski. Tackled the first time by Felipe Anderson. This then recovered by Lobotka. And it's with Napoli again, with Mario Rui off the bench. The Portuguese left-back. Finds Anguissa. 25 yards away from goal. Tries to poke it towards Raspadori, but he gets the return towards Osimhen. Cleared again, but it's cut. It's a sliced one, but it falls to Lazio again, who then cleared better. Up towards Immobile, chested down. Lays it off into Alberto. Out to the right now to Felipe Anderson. Looks down the right channel and he finds Immobile. He's drifted out to the right. Plays a ball inside to Guendouzi. Can he find another pass himself? He's been stopped in his tracks there by Mario Rui. And Napoli stopped that Lazio counter-attack. Zielinski just inside the Lazio half. About 15 yards into the opposition half. Finds Raspadori. He just plays it short into Anguissa. Out to the left it goes now to Rui. 12 minutes to go, plus added on time. Still Napoli 1, Lazio 2, but Lazio have had 2 goals disallowed in the second half. One for Zaccagni and the other for Kamada. Di Lorenzo, right back for Napoli. Goes back into his own half to Romani. Goes across once more to Juan Jesus. Now Anguissa. Lobotka in the centre circle, driving away from Felipe Anderson. Leaving him for dead on the floor as well. And plays it out to the left to Rui. Does he fancy an early cross? He does, into the box. Looking for Lindström. Headed away by Lazio. Looks for Osimhen! Strikes it well over the bar. Snatched at it, the Nigerian. And Lazio have a goal kick. Early ball from Rui. Looking for Lindström, who couldn't win the header. But the header from Hysaj dropped to Osimhen and around 16 yards out on the right foot. Just got under the ball and sent it away for a goal kick. Victor Osimhen, despite him scoring so many goals for Napoli, 62 in his previous 103 for the club, he's not scored against Lazio in his last 3 games against the club. Does have one against back in a 5-2 win in 2021. But here comes another change. Do apologise for the buffering once again. We're having a change though. Felipe Anderson, he's worked his socks off down that Lazio right. He's got an assist for the first goal and an assist for the second goal. Both assists tonight. Felipe Anderson will be replaced by number 9 Pedro, former Barcelona and Chelsea. Won a Premier League, a Europa League and an FA Cup in his time at Chelsea. Also a World Cup and European Championship winner. As that's one of the changes. And another change we're going to get. Can't quite see who it is. Number 3 has come on. Luca Pellegrini. Spent second half of last season on loan. He's going to spend another couple seasons on loan here at Lazio. Luca Pellegrini. He'll replace. I'm not sure who's replacing. I'll let you know. But Guendouzi plays it forward towards Immobile. Pushing the back by Juan Jesus. And that is seen as a free kick. So, El Cid Hysaj comes off for Luca Pellegrini at left back. And Felipe Anderson has been replaced by Pedro on the right wing for Lazio. As Napoli have it in their own box, they are quickly, as I've mentioned a few times now, running out of time. And Geisha, sat in between the 2 centre-backs, plays it to one of the centre-backs on the right, and that is Ramani. Juan Jesus, not quite picking up the tempo. Napoli just played it calm and simple and slowly. There's a long ball over the top, down the right-hand side. It's cut out by Pellegrini, nodded down long as far as Lindstrom, who plays the ball inside to Di Lorenzo. He's got forward from full-back, goes back into the path of Lobotka, goes to his left and Geisha. All Lazio men pretty much sat behind the ball, bar Immobile. And Geisha, misplaced ball straight to Pedro. Goes back to the edge to Marusic. Tries to find the return of Pedro, but his pass has been blocked by Napoli. And now down the left-hand side, it's dropped to Zielinski. 1-2 of Lobotka. And then over the top ball, in behind. Finds Di Lorenzo, brings it down. Can he pull it back? He spins and gets it in the pullback. But it's blocked on the 6-yard line and cleared by Lazio, who keep it in their left-back area. Cleared away by Pellegrini. Only up as far as Ramani for Napoli. Plays it forward, but it's cut out by Cataldi. Gets away from Lobotka. Immobile holds his run on the left, and he's then fed by Cataldi. And they hold it up here. Zaccagni goes inside to Luis Alberto. Still trying down this left-hand side here, Lazio. Zaccagni. Caught in the face there by Raspadori. And that'll be a free kick for Lazio on their left-hand side. Midway inside the Napoli half. Caught in the face there by substitute Giacomo Raspadori. Another change. Piotr Zielinski, who got the goal for Napoli. Took 2 wild deflections to go in, but he's been credited with the goal and he's going to be replaced now by Giovanni Simeone. His dad is Diego Simeone, manager of Atletico Madrid. He's got 8 goals against Lazio in 13 league meetings against the side. He once scored 4 times against them in one game in the 2021-2022 season, so has a good record against them, Simeone, and he wants to replicate that tonight. As Pedro goes down too easily, midway inside his own half, so it's with Napoli to take the throw-in. Jovan Geisha goes back all the way to his goalkeeper, Alex Merritt. lost though by Napoli. Zaccagni bears down on goal, edge of the box across with a pass to the right to Alberto, back out to the left to Zaccagni in the box, shifts onto his right foot, wants to shoot, he does shoot and he doesn't quite get the curl on it. Whispers wide of the post. Just didn't get his foot round it. If he was able to curl it more, that's a goal for Zaccagni. But just glanced away past the post. And it remains Napoli 1, Lazio 2 with 5.5 minutes of the 90 to go. Plus any added on time we get. Bit more volume, please. I can turn it up for you. That should be better. Apologies for the volume. Played forward to Alberto. Playing it out for Lazio. Zaccagni goes down under the challenge of Di Lorenzo. Nothing given. Sarri is furious, but we continue with Lindstrom. Inside to Di Lorenzo. Once more to his left to Anguissa. Forward to Raspadori. Back out wide left to Mario Ruiz. Got forward from fullback. Low cross and it's blocked, but it comes back to the Portuguese international. Who has to go back to halfway towards Juan Jesus. It's Lobotka. Forward to Raspadori. It's Napoli really being patient, not rushing anything here. The current Serie A champions. Forward up towards Osimhen. Nods it down into Lindstrom. Anguissa. Napoli around 45 yards away from goal there. Far away from the Lazio goal as they keep playing it left to right. And they're down the left here currently with Raspadori. Early ball in. It's a low one again. Easily dealt with by Casale for Lazio. Nearly held up by Immobile, but he's tackled by Juan Jesus. Too easily bundled off the ball there, Immobile. So it's back in Napoli possession. On the halfway line with Romani. Plays it forward. And left though with a dummy by Lindstrom. And he gives it to Zaccagni, who feeds it out to the right. There's an attack on. There's a chance on here for Lazio. Pedro bearing down at goal. Edge of the box. Enters the box. Gets the ball caught under his feet as he tries to do a step over. And he loses out as the ball runs away from him. And Napoli regain the ball. What a chance that was for Lazio on the counter-attack. Pedro seemed to have been away there, but as he tried to step over, he just got the ball stuck under his feet. And it allowed Napoli to regain possession. It's now with Raspadori. Out to the right to Lindstrom. Finds Lobotka. Forward, 25 yards away from goal. Struck by Raspadori. I think it was caught in the special area by Cataldi, and that will be a corner for Napoli, but that would have definitely hurt. That was hit with power, and it was hit right in to the below area, the private area. I think it did. Yeah, it definitely did. That would be a nasty one there for Danilo Cataldi, who's still down after getting it in the below waist area. Napoli need a goal. 2.5 minutes to go. Outswinger. Deep one. Header won by Lazio. Drops to the edge of the box though to Jesper Lindstrom for Napoli. Taking it towards the byline. Over hits a touch. And that'll be a goal kick for Lazio. Napoli struggling. Running out of ideas. Rudy Garcia isn't happy, their new manager. Maurizio Sarri having a conversation with the referee. Maurizio Sarri booked as well by the referee. Didn't play professionally, Maurizio Sarri, football, but has reached the very top in his coaching game. Played managing in the Premier League with Chelsea, and also managing previously Napoli for 3 years. Is Lazio in their right back area into the 18-yard box to Casale, the centre half. Long ball forward down the right channel. Finds Guendouzi. Touches it down as well beautifully to Pedro. Away from Anguissa. Here we go. Lazio are away. They've got Alberto to the left. They'll feed it to the Spaniard. Out once more to the left to Zaccagni. He's got the overlap of the fullback. Goes back inside instead to Alberto on the edge. Fakes one shot. Plays it through the gap. Crossed in. It's a high one. Chested down by Guendouzi. He's allowed to shoot. He scuffs it though. And that'll be a goal kick for Napoli. Another chance goes begging for Lazio. Good work there down the left-hand side for Lazio by number 20, Mattia Zaccagni, who's already had 1 goal disallowed. Scored 10 last season, but didn't get any in his last 9 games of the season, Zaccagni. But he looks a threat down that left. He's got just under a minute to go plus added on time. Napoli, as I mentioned, did not lose a game last season until early January, where they were beaten away at Inter Milan. Their first home loss last season was also to Lazio in March, as Lobotka's tripped and fouled midway inside the Lazio half. It'll be a free kick for Napoli. It's quite central, so hard to make an angle. I felt like a left footer could send it to the right side of the box here. Running out of chances. 7 minutes added on though. Just hit the 90th minute and we've got 7 added on. As it'll be Mario Rui's left foot. One man wall. He curls it deep inside the box. Header won by Romani. Straight out for a goal kick. The ball had gone deep. Romani had won the header but couldn't connect with it. Out for a goal kick it went. And Providel, the goalkeeper, will take his time here. 48th appearance for Lazio, the goalkeeper, heading towards half a century of appearances. Taking short to Providel. Gets out to the right back. Marusic down the line towards no Lazio shirt. And it's now picked back up by Napoli. It's on the halfway line with Juan Jesus. 6 minutes to go of the added on time. Still Napoli 1, Lazio 2. Finds Romani, the centre-back. Out towards right-back Di Lorenzo. Pass cut out, though, in the end by Zaccani. And Di Lorenzo will have the throw midway inside the Lazio half. Throws it backwards 10 yards into Romani. Back into Romani here as Di Lorenzo had received it again. And a lifted ball towards Osimhen on the edge of the box. Can't win the header there on Casale. And it's now forced to Guendouzi. Goes to right back Marusic. First time ball down the right channel looking for Immobile. Can't hold it up on halfway. Goes over the Italian's head. And it will be Napoli to come at Lazio again. Just over 5 minutes to play. Lazio want to make a double change. Number 18, number 19 want to come on. That's Gustav Isaacson and Tati Castellanos. 2 forward players, number 18 and number 19. So interesting changes from Maurizio Sarri, if they are to be made, because we don't know when the ball will next go out of play. Long ball forward, look towards Osimhen. Does win the flick on towards Raspadori. Helped away though by Rob Magnoli. Out to the left-hand side to Lindstrom, who's dispossessed by Pedro, who's right towards his own corner flag. Clears it off the back of Lindstrom, and that will be a throw-in for Lazio. Really well done there by Pedro. Defending well and winning the throw-in. And here come the changes. Gustav Isaacson, signed from Midtjylland for €13 million, will come on, the right winger. He'll replace Zaccani. And Tati Castellanos will replace Ciro Immobile. So left winger off and striker off for a left winger and a striker. Just freshening up the forward line if there's a chance for another counter-attack, or just fresh legs up front to hold up the ball. Just more fit and energetic to see this victory out. Just under 4 minutes left to play. Immobile on his 300th appearance for Lazio. Not scored tonight, but he is their leading goal scorer of all time. And he'll be replaced by new summer signing Tati Castellanos, joined from New York City FC for €15 million. Spent last season out on loan at Girona in La Liga, scoring 13 goals. Also winning the Golden Boot in MLS with 19 goals in 2021. Throws down the line for Lazio up towards Castellanos. Heads it out of play though, unfortunately. It's a Napoli thrown quickly back to the halfway line to Romani. Finds Juan Jesus in the left back area. Here is the left back Rui. Right footed ball. It's a long high one up towards Osimhen. He does win the flick on. Long as far as the edge of the box, so it's headed away by Casale. It's now Guendouzi. Ball over the top, down the left channel, looking for Isaacson. Can't quite keep it in. Is that thrown for Napoli? I think it might be. Couldn't quite keep it in there. Isaacson. And here's Romani. Is Napoli trying to build from the back. 3.5 minutes left. 2.5 minutes, sorry. Left to play. Flicked on by Osimhen. Helped on by Raspadori. Can't quite find. Sorry, it's Lindstrom who helped it on him behind. Couldn't quite find Napoli's number 18, Giovanni Simeone, who's come off the bench. It's into the hands now of Ivan Providel, who's taking his time on the ball here, the Lazio goalkeeper. It's a long ball kicked up towards Castellanos. Takes it down on the edge of the 18-yard box, but he was dispossessed by Romani. And it's now Mario Rui to Raspadori. First time ball around the corner in the centre of the field. Straight to Jesper Lindstrom. What a ball that is. He feeds it through here to Simeone. Edge of the box. Pokes it through into the box. Chance, but it's a great tackle. What a tackle that is by Marusic on Raspadori as he's bearing down on goal in the box. Good slide challenge. Concedes the corner, but better than conceding the goal for the moment. There's Napoli with 90 seconds to go. They're going to launch this in the box. In it goes. It's one towards the near post. Helped on towards the far post. Juan Jesus strikes once, blocked. Then lays it off to Lindstrom, who blazes it wide and over. And it's a chance that's gone begging for Napoli. Good flick on there at the near post. And it fell to Juan Jesus, who laid it off to Lindstrom. Juan Jesus' first shot was blocked. Then laid it off to their new signing from Frankfurt, who misjudged it and miscued it completely. And away it goes for a goal kick for Lazio. Looks like they're going to be getting their first points of the season. Started with 2 losses at home to Genoa last week. And their first game of the season was a 2-1 away loss to Lecce. It looks like they're going to rock up to the reigning champions and take 3 points. So Napoli will stay second for now, I do believe, if things stay the same. And Napoli will drop to 4th. And a free kick's been won. Osimhen on the edge of the box, tried to shoot, but instead of kicking the ball, he kicked Casale instead. Sorry, I think he actually kicked Romagnoli. Yeah, Osimhen's gone to strike the ball. Romagnoli's got there before him and kicked it away, and then he's gone through him and kicked him in the leg. Accidental. Apologies all round for Osimhen. His intention was to kick the ball, but Romagnoli got there first, defended well, and I think that could be it for the full-time whistle. Free kick for Lazio. Edge of their 18-yard box. 2-1 up. They have had 2 goals disallowed as well in the 68th minute and the 71st. It'll be Ivan Providel to take. Rudy Garcia's Napoli side. Looks like they may have run out of time. Long ball deep inside the Napoli half. Header won by Juan Jesus. And they've lost it towards the corner flag on the Lazio left. Cleared forward by Romani for Napoli. Up it goes towards Simeone. Can't help it on. Cleared away by Romagnoli. Volleyed forward though by Lindstrom. In behind the Lazio defence. Osimhen gives chase as it's headed back towards Providel. And he will get there. Providel ahead of Osimhen. And that could be it. Providel's gone down as he believes he was caught there by Osimhen. Providel stayed down. I don't think it was on purpose by Osimhen. He was chasing the ball down. And as Providel... Oh, they've clattered knees by accident. They actually was by accident. Providel has taken it. And his right leg's been taken out as they clattered knees. Accidental. But Providel's back to his feet. Hobbling a little bit, but it looks like his team may have won the 3 points here. Maurizio Sarri will be delighted. With back-to-back wins against his former side. He'd lost 5 in a row. Before that win in March of this year, as Providel clears it up the field, and that will be that at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Lazio come out with the 3 points. They came here last season and won. This season they've come here and won again. First goal came through Luis Alberto in the 30th minute with a tiny little flick at the near post. It was then cancelled out 2 minutes later after a Zielinski deflected strike. But in the 52nd minute, Kamada scored his first Lazio goal to give them the lead again. They then scored in the 68th minute through Zaccagni. But that was disallowed for an offside. Guendouzi then had it in the net 3 minutes later, but that was disallowed for an offside in the build-up. But eventually, despite scoring 4, they only needed 2 of them to win here, away from home, 2-1. And for Lazio, it's their first points of the season as well. Really good engaging commentary, keep up. Thank you very much. Yeah, first points for Lazio as well. Lost the first 2 games, and then they go to Napoli away from home, who won the league convincingly last season, and they go and win. It's crazy, isn't it, how football works? But that'll be that for this commentary. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Another commentary coming tomorrow. It's the Old Firm derby. It's Rangers against Celtic. But for tonight, Napoli lose their first game of the season, and it's at home to Lazio, who travel with 3 points. It's their first points of the season. Lazio stumble at home. But at the end of the game tonight, it finishes Napoli 1, Lazio 2.